Wow, a Premier League classic. Chelsea and Man City have just given us an 8-goal thriller. What an amazing game. Chelsea this week have just delivered such entertaining games after the 4-1 win away at Spurs, full of drama, full of VAR controversy, 2 red cards, violence. They've come up with another entertaining performance where they went toe-to-toe against Man City, the best team in the league. Cole Palmer rounding off the match after he converted a late penalty, kept his cool to give Chelsea the point. Chelsea came back from behind 3 times in this game. But anyway, let's get into it. We'll start straight at the penalty. Man City's first goal was a penalty converted by Haaland, but yet another poor call by VAR, another very poor decision by the referees. It's just too soft. For me, it's just too soft, and in real time, it should not have been a penalty. The moment you stop it and you review it and you look at it in slow motion, the referee will have no other outcome than to give a penalty. He gets thrown under the bus. There is no way that once you look at that on the VAR screen, any other outcome of not being a penalty is not possible. It's just not a penalty in real time. Cucurella is holding him back a little bit, but he puts his hands on him and lets him go. I think Haaland is too strong to be brought down like that, and I think Haaland is now playing on the decision that he got 2 weeks ago at Man United. A similar situation happened at Old Trafford with Rasmus Haaland and the penalty was given, and I think Haaland knows that, it got given last week, so there's a chance that it may get given again, and he will keep on going down. I think it sets a dangerous standard and a dangerous precedent that penalties will be given for such things. And when you look at it in real time, like I said, it shouldn't have been a penalty. Even at Old Trafford, it shouldn't have been a penalty. But the moment you start then setting that standard and reviewing things in terms of slow motion, anyone that puts their hand on for pulling or a little bit of pushing, it will obviously lead to penalties because that looks like a foul. But there's still a certain level of physicality that should be maintained. But anyway, Haaland got his brace in the game. Water is wet. Haaland scored again. Water is wet. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But yeah, I think Chelsea fans will feel very aggrieved with what's happened at the beginning of the game specifically. It's very interesting that Anthony Taylor was literally demoted to the championship not long before this game, like a week ago. And now he's given Man City versus Chelsea. That doesn't make sense to me because you've just shown us and you've just told us by demoting him that you didn't necessarily feel confident about his abilities. Even Pochettino wanted to have a wrestling match with Anthony Taylor at full time. He was so furious with the refereeing decisions. Besides those poor refereeing decisions that tried to almost ruin the game, we got a game of the season. Definitely a contender for one of the games of the season. Absolute cinema box office. Raheem Sterling was absolutely electric. He is actually Chelsea's best player. When he's at it, he's Chelsea's biggest star. He's Chelsea's go-to man, and he's just needed help this season because when he doesn't do anything, it looks like no one does. He had Kyle Walker on skates the whole game, scored against his former club. I don't think I have too much of a problem with players celebrating goals against their old teams, especially when it wasn't toxic how they left. I just feel like as long as the celebrations are not necessarily over the top. Nicholas Jackson has 4 goals this week alone. He's on 6 Premier League goals now. I feel like it's not bad for someone who's basically not supposed to be Chelsea's main striker. That's not bad. A goal every other game. That's the ratio. Reece James, a good cameo for him. Got some few minutes, 16 minutes. Pochettino has to manage him well. As we know, Reece James is injury prone and he's coming from injury. I just want to shout out Conor Gallagher. He's got that dog with him recently. His hard work, his effort has been something that you cannot complain about. He puts his 101% in every single game, and it's now starting to show the work that he actually does for this Chelsea team. Pochettino seems to have Pep's number. Again, He's really rattled Pep Guardiola's side. I feel like Poch's decision to go toe-to-toe with Man City was probably the best that he could have done, as Chelsea looked like the best they've played this whole season. They didn't look scared. They looked confident. You can see the style of play that Chelsea want to play. You can see that the only thing that's really lacking now is the ability to not concede goals. Great substitution at the end with Boya coming on to salvage the game. He won the penalty, and I think Chelsea created some good chances. They should have scored more. Gusto has to score this chance. It's 3-3, 15 minutes to go. If he scores this, it's 4-3 to Chelsea, and we know immediately after he missed that, because he skied it, Rodri went and got another goal for Man City. That's before the penalty and the equalizer, so could have completely changed the game. But fair play to Chelsea, well played. They were hungry. They worked tirelessly the whole 90 minutes, pressing Man City, trying to, take the game to them. Man City have dropped points and missed an opportunity to extend their lead at the top of the table. Arsenal won yesterday, Man United also won. And to wrap up your weekend's action, Aston Villa won to make the charge, increase their charge on top 4. Liverpool also won to reach closer to the summit of the table, and now basically the Premier League table looks exactly like this. I just feel Chelsea celebrations a little bit slightly over the top. Technically, Chelsea didn't win the game, but they also still have some points to make up on the top 4 race. However, that will be such a morale boosting performance, such a confidence booster, that is, so that they can feel like they have the ability to get near the top 4 and the top of the table. Chelsea have now drawn at home to Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City, and they've also went to go beat Spurs away earlier this week. So very promising results those are, and will instill belief in those players. Sheffield got a good point away at Brighton, and now that's moved Burnley to rock bottom of the Premier League after 12 games, 4 points. That's slightly concerning. The most concerning part is the fact that it now seems like there's a distance forming between the bottom 3 and the teams just outside the relegation zone. So at the moment, slightly concerning. Bottom 3 needs to start picking up points, start picking up some wins, especially Burnley maybe at home. That's your Game Week 12 wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys after the international break.